might be interested to know that Loma Linda University, they used to have their own great archaeologists. Besides Sigmund Horn, there was Kenneth Vine. How many of you heard of Kenneth Vine? He was at Loma Linda, and he worked on the oil lamps for this excavation for many years. And then Bailey Gillespie, some of you know Bailey. He's retired now, but he also used to bring tour groups down here all the time to Israel with Rick Rice, actually. So I knew those guys from back in the old days because they were running around the country making tours while I was doing excavation. So Loma Linda University was part of the consortium for this excavation, but it was huge. Many universities were involved. They dug for many years. The original, a big excavation occurred in the early 1960s by the Italians, and that's when they found, in this theater actually, right here, they found the Pontius Pilate inscription, and Menachem's going to show us where they placed the duplicate of that here when we get done. But it was the first extra-biblical reference to Pontius Pilate that was found. It was here. Now, why was it here? A little bit of the quick history of the city, and again, the guides will give you more. We're not here for too long, but this city was actually a Phoenician city from about the 4th century BC. The Persians and the Greeks were fighting over this area. You know, Alexander the Great and the Persian kings were going back and forth. This area between Tel Aviv and up to Dor was basically a Phoenician coastal area, and this location was known as Strato's Tower. There were a number of kings, Strato, who were located here, and later on this was taken over by the Romans, and they built kind of a new city, basically a new major port city south of Dor at this location. And Caesar Augustus gave this area to our Herod the Great, who then built the city in honor of Caesar. So we have Caesarea Maritima. There's, of course, the other Caesareas around the Mediterranean, including Caesarea Philippi. They each have a history for why they were named that way. So you have Herod the Great here. This city would be the place. It was a Roman city. When the Romans were occupying this area, they took this place over completely for themselves. I think it was around 6 BC or there, maybe it was 6 AD. The Romans made this their main headquarters for Palestine. This is where the action was at. This was the essential capital for the Romans as they were controlling even Jerusalem. There was a place for the Roman governor to live up there, but basically this is where they lived. Pontius Pilate probably spent a lot of his time down here. And when there were problems with Jews, they would probably have their trials and so forth. This is where Paul was brought to trial later on when there were problems before he shipped off to Rome. This is where Cornelius, the Roman centurion, lived, who was converted. This is his place here at Caesarea. And the other important biblical connection is after Christianity takes off in the time of Constantine, this became a major focal point for Christianity in Palestine. This is where you have Origen, the great orator, the apologist for Christianity, lived here, and he started a school of Christianity in a library. Eusebius would be one of the successors, and they built up a library, 30,000 volumes. This was the second largest library next to Alexandria in its day. So this is a very important library. And there was also a very important Jewish school here. The Jews, of course, were quite concerned about the rise in Christian phenomena, so they had a school here of Jewish theologians, philosophers, to debate against the Christians. And the Christians would counteract with their famous theologians. So there was a lot of theological activity going on here at Caesarea. And the site continued to be important even into the Crusader times. It was rebuilt. So, and there's a lot of Crusader ruins in this area. So that's kind of the overview of the history. There's a lot more detail. That gives you a little taste. They've been doing wonderful excavations. A lot of stuff has been exposed since I was here, actually. And we'll get a chance to see a little bit of that. There's a hippodrome. There's this wonderful theater. There's cult centers for various Roman religions that were counterparts to Christianity. Just a lot of wonderful things have been found here. So I think in a moment we'll get to go around and see the Pontius Pilate inscription. Yeah, question? Yes, I mean the theater was here with this beautiful view. The Romans liked to place their theaters in wonderful, aesthetically pleasing locations. Keep in mind though, when the theater was here, there was a great big backstage that was built up quite high, so you'd have to be at the highest levels to see out in the Mediterranean. But this is mostly reconstructed, consolidated, so that people use it now. They have performances. I've been here, and they have wonderful, delightful, in the summertime, musicals, all sorts of different kinds of entertainments. We like to come down here and see this stuff. So that's my quick little introduction. and the importance of this site for Christian history. It was a theological powerhouse in the time of Eusebius. And of course, Paul was here. He was tried here. He was sent to Rome from here. Philip, the deacon, actually lived here. And it was Philip who told Paul, hey, don't go up to Jerusalem. They're a bit ticked off at you up there, particularly the Jewish community. They think you're undermining Judaism. You go up there, you're going to be in big trouble. Paul went up anyway, and he was arrested. So this city of Caesarea was very important in early Christian history and in Roman history and Jewish history as well.